Hey everyone, in this video we are going to implement Celery in a Django application. So first we will learn what is Celery and why you should use it in your Django application. And next we will configure Celery and a broker like Redis to handle background tasks. Then we will work with task queues and learn how to use them. We will also explore monitoring and management tools like Flowers, which gives us a UI to track and manage tasks. Finally, we will set up error logging and alerting tool like Sentry to track issues in real time. So this is going to be a detailed video about Celery. So let's start by understanding what is Celery. So Celery is an open source distributed task queue system that helps you run tasks in the background. This allows your application to process user requests quickly, ensuring a better user experience. It is perfect for handling tasks that don't need to be executed immediately, such as sending emails, processing files, or interacting with third-party APIs. Let's understand it with an example. So here we have a Django application where user can upload a file containing user data. Normally, when you upload a file, the application would process that file, extract the data, and save it to the database. This process could take a lot of time depending on the file size and amount of data. Now here is the problem. While the file is being processed, the user has to wait, which is not a great experience. But with Celery, here is what happens. So when you upload a file, the application immediately returns a response confirming that upload was successful, and behind the scenes, Celery processes the file in the background. The user does not have to wait for a file to be finished processing. Now we have seen why Celery is useful. Let's start by setting it up in Django. To configure Celery in Django, you need to install Celery and a message broker such as Redis. I'm going to create a new file, celery.py, and in this file we will add this configuration. You will get the source code in the description, so you can get it from there. Here we first set the default Django setting module for Celery program, and then we initialize Celery with the name of your project, and this tells Celery to look for your configuration variables in your Django settings file with the prefix Celery. And here app.autodiscoverTask will ensure that Celery will find tasks you defined in your Django apps. And in the same folder, open a init.py file and add the following code. So this will make sure Celery is ready to work whenever Django starts up. And now we will set up a broker like Redis. So Celery needs a message broker to queue tasks. So we are using Redis here because Redis is lightweight and fast. To install Redis, check the link in the video description. If you are using Windows, install the Redis from the provided link, and then add the Redis installation folder to your system's environment variables, and then run the redis server.exe file. This will start your Redis server and display the default port. And now in your Django settings.py file, and the broker URL and result backend that points to your Redis server. And now Celery is fully configured in your Django project. And now configure a Celery task that processes a CSV file in the background. So here we have a HTML form where user can upload a CSV file that contains user data like name, image, and email. So when a user upload a file, we will get the file in our Django view, where we will process the file in the background and return the message instantly. So what we are going to do is, we will create a background task that process the file and save the data in the database. For that, we are going to create a task.py file where we can define all the Celery tasks. So in this file, just import the shared task from Celery. And here we have defined the function in which we are using shared task decorator. So this decorator will turn the function into a Celery task that can be executed asynchronously. Celery worker will pick up this task when it is triggered, and in this task we use pandas that will load the CSV file into the data frame. And here we ensure that the CSV file contains required columns, name, email, and age, and then we insert the data in the database. After processing the file, the user will get a notification email that the file has been processed, and then you need to import this task in your views.py and call the process CSV task and pass the file data and user email as an argument. Here we using delay that sends the task to the Celery worker for background processing. And now if you run the Celery worker and test it, then you can see when a user upload a file, after submitting the form, user get instant response, and now the file is processing in the background. So this is how Celery improves user experience by handling heavy tasks in the background. So let's see how we can schedule a task with Celery Beat. So here we have a function that will send emails to all users. We are using shared task decorator here. So this will convert this function to a Celery task. So after creating your task, you need to set this configuration in your settings.py file. We have added the Celery Beat schedule. First we set the task that we want to execute, and here we have scheduled it to execute this task in every 1 minute. And now you need to run Celery Beat. Make sure your Celery worker are running. So when you start your Celery worker, you will see all your tasks here. And then you can run the following command to start Celery Beat, and now you can see the task is executed. So it will be executing in every 1 minute. And if you check your Celery worker, you can see here that emails are sending to users Sometimes you may have multiple tasks and you want to set priority to all these tasks. For example, we have a task here that will send emails to users that are greater than 18 years, and we want to set it to high priority, and the another task that will send emails to users that are less than 18 years, we will set this task to low priority. So this is where we can use Celery queue. With queues, you can separate tasks based on the priorities and ensure urgent tasks are executed first. To configure the custom queues, add this configuration to your settings file. So in the Celery task routes, we map specific tasks to specific queues. So in this example, send email high priority task will go to high priority queue, and send email low priority task will go to low priority queue. And in the Celery task queues, we configure the details of each queues. And in the Celery Beat schedule, we have scheduled both the tasks that send email to users that are greater than 18 and users that are less than 18 years. So just for a testing purpose, these tasks will be executed in every 1 minute. But here we have set the priority to both the tasks. So when we run Celery Beat, this high priority task will be executed first, even it is configured after this task. So in the task.py file, when we run this task, it will print this string. So we will know which task is executing first. Now you are all set with configuring your custom queues, and now you need to run your Celery worker with queue. So you can run the following command that you can see on your screen. After running this, we will start our Celery Beat. You can see the high priority task is executed first. And now let's talk about task retry in Celery. Here we are processing a CSV file uploaded by the user. During the task execution, there may be some issue. So instead of filling the task immediately, we want to retry it automatically after a short delay. So this is where Celery retry mechanism can be used. So we configure a task to retry automatically when an exception occurs. So in the share task decorator, we pass some parameters, bind equals to true. So this allows task instance to be accessed, which is necessary for when we call the retry function. And here we pass the auto retry for exception, so it will automatically retry for the task for any exception specified in this tuple. And then we have retry back off, we'll add the delay before retrying the task. We have set the limit of retries to 5, so this will retry to execute the task if any exception occurs. And now let's try to raise the exception, and now let's try to execute the task by uploading a file. And here you can see we get the exception. And after getting the exception, it will automatically retry to execute the task. So this is all about task retry in Celery. Now let's talk about monitoring and management tools. Right now, to check the logs and task status, we are relying on command line. But you can see everything in an easy to use web interface with Flower. Flower is a real-time web-based monitoring tool for Celery. So you need to install Flower. To start Flower, run the following command in your project directory. So let's visit this port. You will see a dashboard with several useful features. Here you can see all the running workers and their status. Here also you can see a list of all tasks executed by Celery along with their status. For each task you can view their detailed logs, and you can view the periodic task created using Celery Beat. So with Flower you can keep a track of everything and take action if something goes wrong. And now let's talk about a powerful error tracking tool called Sentry. So Sentry helps you to monitor and fix issues in real time. It integrates seamlessly with your Celery to give you visibility into failed tasks and helps you to debug issues effectively. To set up the Sentry, first visit the official Sentry website. A link is in the description. Create an account if you don't already have one, and set up a project for your application. Once your project is created, you get the DSN. So this DSN is what you will use to connect your Django application to Sentry. And now in your code, install the Sentry SDK, and then you can integrate Sentry in your Django project, import the Sentry SDK and initialize it with your DSN, and then you can use Sentry SDK in your task and all over the code. So in your exception, you need to use Sentry.capture exception and pass the error in this. When you get any error, you can check the Sentry where you can see the exact error, stack trace, and even the data passed to the task or request. Sentry also sends alerts for errors with email, Slack, or other integration. So this is all for the video. In the next video, we will deploy Celery to production, and we will cover how you can configure Celery on production server. If you found this video useful, you can like the video and you can subscribe if you want to get more content like this.